Next on From Junky to Funky, I help a recent college grad turn his schoolboy bedroom into a room ready for the working world. Together, we turn an old stereo console into a new home for his pet lizards. Then see how my carpenter Tim and I transform these two columns into a hideaway headboard and some old doors into a stylish new desk. And we'll do it all for under 300 bucks.
That is awesome.
When it comes to choosing a career, doing something that's good for your soul isn't always good for your bank account. Take today's homeowner. Danny just graduated from college and wants to work for a not-for-profit. He's tired of living like a student, but doesn't have the funds to update his bedroom. I'm here to teach him that you don't need a lot of money to have a lot of style. Ready to head out into the real world?
No.
No?
No, I am. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, I can see some problems with the room, but what do you think?
Well, right now I feel like this room is a little bit cluttered. I think you could use a lot more open space. Maybe we should start with the desk.
So what's going on over here?
Well, I got this desk at a department store and I put it together myself, and as you can see, I'm not really that much of a handyman. Actually, the whole desk is on a tilt. You can see it from the water line on the fish tank.
Well, you know what, to be honest, you didn't really have a lot to work with, so it's not your fault.
True.
What's another thing that's going on in the room, in your opinion?
Well, if you didn't notice, I have a lizard cage over here.
Hey, lizards.
This is Puff and this is Emo.
Nice.
They're both bearded dragons. And when I originally got them, they were about 4 inches long. And now they're up to about 18. I think they might need a little more space as well.
Okay. Another thing we can do in the room to give it a visual focus is to give you a headboard. And I think that would look real nice in here. Is that something that you have any interest in?
Absolutely. I think that would make this room look a lot classier.
Well, let's talk about some color. I don't know if you're happy with the blue.
It looks more something that would be for a newborn boy than for a 24-year-old guy in the city.
Than for an adult male.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
All right. Well, we're going to get you a color that's
Cool.
a little more adult. What kind of color are you interested in?
I've always been kind of an earth tone type of guy, so maybe like the color on your shirt, like that kind of green, but a little bit lighter.
This green.
Yeah,
what do you think about that?
That's the one I think would be the best.
It's not too dark, it's still soft, and it won't make the room look too closed off. And since we're giving the lizards a little more prominence in the room, I think they'll enjoy it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Remind them of home. We need a new desk for you, something where you can work.
That'd be great.
Work on getting a job.
Yeah.
A headboard so we can give the room some visual focus,
That'd
and then
be
also something that you can get comfortable on. And then you and I are going to create a habitat for Puff and Emo.
I'm gonna help you?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, something that brings them out of the closet.
Awesome.
into the
They're
room.
excited, I could tell.
Danny and I begin our search at one of the biggest thrift stores in the city. Might as well start with a lot of options.
So we need to create a home for Puff and Emo.
Yeah.
So we're looking for something that's storage, but it's also display area, areas that are either enclosed or can be enclosed.
I like little pieces like these because I can just imagine the drawers out and a big piece of plastic, you know, right in front. Definitely shoving off the top of this and putting lights on it. I mean, everywhere I look, I'm getting ideas. This is a great place to take me.
Hey, look at this. This looks to be about the right size.
Yeah, that's a great size.
What do we got?
Whoa! What is that?
It used to be an old TV stand and radio. The doors are a little decorative, so maybe we take the doors off.
Yeah, that definitely should happen.
This is a perfect size and a really good combination of form and function.
And the antique and modern look that I'm looking for.
Cool.
So yeah, it works out.
Let's get it. Since we found the piece we needed for the lizard lounge pretty quickly, I decided to take Danny on another adventure. Have you ever been down this alley?
No, but I've heard about it.
Right here is where John Dillinger, famous gangster, was shot.
Right here?
Yeah, and now we'll look for junk right behind it.
Wow.
The movie theater where John Dillinger saw his last picture is now a live theater.
Really?
And a lot of times, live theaters, when they're done with a show, they don't have any place to store the set, so they just dump it in the alley behind.
All right. Yeah, there's some cool stuff around here.
Oh, what's this?
You like this?
I do.
Yeah?
Let's pull it out. I like the fact that it's solid wood and that it's hollow, actually, so we could use this space somehow. And there's some wood in the dumpster, so we can grab that too.
All right.
If you guard our finds, I'll be right back with the truck.
Okay.
Okay. Lots of boxes. Okay.
Ooh, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, this is the perfect end to a long day.
Yeah. Can I get a ride home?
Yeah, hop in. Next up, Check out how my carpenter Tim and I make a headboard using swivels.
That's a neat twist.
Then, see how our mature bedroom makeover makes Danny act like a kid.
Oh my God! That is awesome.
My carpenter Tim and I are getting things ready to transform cast-off junk into new furniture for Danny, a recent college graduate who realizes it's finally time to have a grown-up bedroom, not only for himself, but also for his two bearded dragons. His room is cluttered and his beat-up furniture leaves the room with no real focal point, so we're using 2 found scenic pillars to create a custom headboard. 2 wood doors will become a stylish new desk, and we'll make an old TV and radio console into a new home for Danny's lizards. Danny has arrived at our shop to work on the new lizard lounge, and Tim will help us through the process. You remember this piece?
Yeah, from the thrift store.
Yeah.
Absolutely, the old Zenith.
Well, that's the old Zenith. This is the new Zenith.
Wow, that's
Good.
awesome.
So we got a lot of work to do,
Yeah, we do.
Let's get started. First, the destruction process, and you're gonna do it.
Okay, all
Draw
right.
on some glasses.
I feel like Bono. All right.
The first step is to remove the doors.
Cool.
I'm gonna save these doors. I might use them in the future. Now we're gonna take the top off. Whew.
Nice.
We'll put the top aside to work on later. Okay, now we can really get in here and start taking it apart.
Are you gonna keep the radio too?
The face of the radio will be in the unit. I'm gonna keep this.
That's
for
what
my-
I knew you keep everything. So,
Yeah, look around.
That's an old school radio.
The next step is to create an opening through the center partition. Tim first drills a hole to allow room for a jigsaw. Then he cuts out the passageway. Nice work. After a quick cleanup, we're ready for the shelves.
Got these shelves cut for you.
Great. Yeah, Danny, we decided to make these out of plexiglass. That way they're easy to clean.
Oh yeah.
And this way, Puff and Emo have a little skylight. Added bonus. We put all the shelves into place. Now we can move on to the top. Eventually the top will be on hinges so that you can open it up, reach in, grab Puff and Emo. But when you want to close it, we want to make it so that Puff and Emo can breathe.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to cut a big hole here for ventilation, and then we're going to screen it in. Danny measures and marks out the opening. Then Tim cuts it out with a circular saw. He finishes off the corners with a jigsaw. Perfect.
That's cool.
Okay, now we put the screen in. We pre-cut a metal screen to cover the opening, and Danny staples it to the underside of the lid.
Wow.
That's what the top will look like.
That's awesome.
The next step is to reattach the top. Then we'll hinge it so that you can get in there to feed Puff and Emo. Yeah.
Wow.
All right, we're gonna put in some locking arms so that you can hold it up when you wanna feed them, when you wanna do whatever.
Yeah.
So we've got our glass.
Okay.
And it's gonna go right in here. And we just had some glass around the shop. We took it to a glass shop and they cut it to size for us.
Perfect.
So if you can just hold it in place for
Okay.
me, all right? Because we've got these oak strips that will go right here, and they'll just serve to hold the glass in place.
Nice.
We screw on the oak strips, being careful not to hit the glass in the process.
There you go.
Great. That wasn't so hard, was it?
No, I can do it again.
Awesome. All right, well now we put on the doors, the back.
You know what? I've got this pre-cut. I'm gonna go get them.
Great. We've got 3 different backer board pieces so that you can access each of the areas.
Cool.
That way, if Puff's over on one side, you can get to Emo on the
Okay.
other. The backer boards slip into place and lock with a simple latch made out of scrap wood.
Wow, we did so much today, guys.
You did so much today.
Yeah, it's come a long way from the thrift store.
And it only cost about $150. Tim and I still have some additional work to do on the inside. Clean it up, sand down some edges, some more stains, some more poly.
Okay.
And you have some more work to do too.
I do.
Remember that old baby blue in your room?
That's right, it's gotta go, right?
Yeah, great green is coming in.
I know it.
So while you're painting your room, we're gonna create some other great projects for you, and then we'll bring it over to your house
Awesome.
and see what we got.
I can't wait, guys. Thank you guys so
Cool.
much for everything today.
Thank you.
This
It was
was
so
really
much
a cool
fun.
experience. Tim, thanks so much.
Now that Danny's gone to paint his room, Tim gives me the lowdown on Danny's second project, his new desk.
We've had these doors in the shop for a while now. I'm gonna use the 2 doors as a frame, and then this corner table as a desktop.
So you can see how these doors will stand upright, and the table shelves, with a little modification, will make a really cool corner desk.
Tim's first step is to take apart the corner table, so we can use the 3 surfaces. Next is lining the doors up and hinging them together, giving enough space between the doors to allow for computer cords and wires. We mark for the hinges and screw them on. Next, we attach the table's bottom shelf for the desk's top.
A 2.5-inch screw on the top here.
The original molding of the bottom shelf gives the top of the desk a nice finished look. Tim's already made some shelf supports out of 3/4-inch pine, and now we attach them. We place them low enough so that the desk surface will sit just under the doorknob plates. With the supports in place, we pre-drill through the front of each door at the height of the desk surface. We put the desk top in place and screw it in from the back side of the door.
This is already looking really cool.
Yeah. Next, we attach the smaller shelf supports.
This shelf is gonna be a little bit tricky. A leg was on this portion here, so I'm gonna have to square this off.
Tim uses a makeshift compass to make the curve for the shelf. Then cuts it with a jigsaw. Because we want the shelf to sit flush against the doors, Tim uses a contour tool to replicate the inset of the door panels. Then he marks the shelf and cuts it out.
So now all I have to do is mount this, and it's ready for paint.
Great, I've got a nice grayish brown picked out.
But before we get to painting, I want to make some headway on the third project, Danny's new headboard.
Danny and I found these 2 columns in the alley, and what I want to do is turn them into the sides of his headboard, but I want to put them on swivels, they're like Lazy Susans, so that he can turn them out, put some shelves in here so he has storage, but then when he doesn't want anyone to see it, he can just turn it back around.
That's a neat twist.
We must first attach mounting blocks to one side of each metal swivel, so we'll have something to screw the top into later. Next, we screw the other side of the swivels to the top and bottom of each column.
Okay, we're ready for our topper piece. I've got an 8-foot board right here. Let's pop it on. We just have to cut a bit out of here because I don't want there to be too much overhang on top of his bed.
Tim marks the top and cuts it with a circular saw.
There it is.
Hey, I'm starting to get the picture.
Yeah, Lazy Susans in your bedroom. All right, let's work on the backer board.
Up next, we open the door to a new way of lighting. Is this it here?
This is it.
And find a new twist for some old doorknobs.
You like it? I like it. It's amazing.
Stick around. We're busy turning junk into 3 unique furniture pieces for Danny, a recent college graduate whose bedroom doesn't make the grade. We already built a new home for Danny's bearded dragons out of an old TV and radio console, and Tim and I have been busy working on a new desk made out of 2 wooden doors. But right now, we're giving Danny's new headboard a finished look by adding some trim to the top piece.
Thanks for adding that sub-trim.
Yeah, I generally like to add it because it gives more surface area for your outer trim to attach to.
We glue and then nail the trim on.
See where we got a chip here?
Yeah.
That's where painter's caulk is a trim finisher's best friend. Just wipe it over and be done with it.
Once all the trim is on, we're ready to reattach the top to the columns.
All right, I'm gonna nail this side real
We
quick.
simply screw through the top and into our swivel's wood blocking using 1/2-inch screws. Next, we attach a backer board we made out of plywood, attaching it to the top and bottom pieces.
All right.
That is classy.
Yeah, let's get it ready to paint.
While I get the paint together, Tim gets to work on Danny's desk lighting. He disassembled the desk to make it easier to paint and install the lights. He attaches rope lighting to the backside and preps the doorknob panel for a dimmer switch.
This is gonna be the favorite part of this piece for me. Danny's really gonna be surprised by this too. It's these finishing touches that really make a piece, you know?
And that they're all antique. It's really awesome. Now we install the second dimmer. Tim marks the outline of the dimmer.
Each one of these wires. That way I know where they all go.
Yeah.